Good morning, and good morning. I know I'm 2 minutes late. That's Grace. Okay. That's Grace. That's Grace. I just wanted to run in the kitchen and get something I wanted you all to see. I'm a lover of sunflowers. Roses would be nice, but I occasionally buy myself flowers. And I had gone to Publix the other day, and maybe Monday, and I found these beautiful sunflowers. And I kept saying, I'm going to show them on Monday. Forgot. Okay. Today's Wednesday. They still look good. Hold on one second. Hold on. Look how beautiful these are. Just absolutely gorgeous. I started to put on a yellow outfit that matched them, but that wasn't working this morning. It wasn't, but I do have on flowers. So anyway, I just thought that they were just adorable, just very, very pretty. Sometimes simplicity is great. And I thought simplistically they're beautiful, all done by nature, not requiring anything to be said to them, done to them. They just grow, And I saw last week where a man planted an entire, field, acres and acres and acres of sunflowers for his wife, but it was an area that she didn't frequent on their farm. And then he took her out to it that on their 50th wedding anniversary. Isn't that just beautiful? No words, not requiring anything, just absolute simplistic beauty. So I'm wanted to just share that with you all today and just saying good morning, good morning, good morning, Joan. Aren't these gorgeous? I just wanted to share this with you. This is my love for you all. Bright, cheery, full of simple beauty. That's it. I just wanted to do that. So anyway, I'm going to sit them back over there on the table. So give me 1 second. I don't want to knock them over. All right, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. So anyway, I got to thinking about what I always speak on is words and the importance of words. And I said, I was doing a bio for someone, and I said, I just love words. I find that words can be supportive, encouraging, they can be uplifting, they can also tear us down, they can make us smile to the moon, they can you know make us run away, make us fearful, make us angry. Word, the word. And they always speak of the word, and a lot of times we've made the word, it's really a message. But one word sometimes can be a message unto itself, especially if it isn't supported by anything else. It just can be. So I said that's my discussion for tomorrow. A word. I know Joan is a lover of words. A poet, and a person who reads. She's in a book club. So there's a lot of times there are people who know words, understand the importance of words, and they use them. Whereas others will make up words. Or they'll not know the true meaning of the word and use the word incorrectly. But anyway, I found some different. I don't know what I did. I'm sitting on my papers. I found some a poem this morning that talks about kind words, and to me, those are probably my favorite words. Kind words, words of love. Even when I write or I respond to something on Facebook, or I generally start with love. I try not to go in what I would call the realm of good morning, Rhoda. I try to not go in the area of less than love. That's just me. That's how I live. I don't know. I don't know where it comes from, but it is definitely an emotion. It's definitely a feeling. I feel the words that I use. Good morning, Miss Rosie. How are you? Love you, love you. So anyway, this word is called kind words, and it's by Hashmuka Amathal, Amathalala. Unusual name, but for me to say. So if I messed it up, I apologize. So it talks about kind words. It says kind words have got no parallel. They play good role and excel. They are very vital in any field. They exert influence and results yield. What a beautiful response you get. Bitterness, despair, and soon to forget. Opening of new relation with warmth, no scuffle, no bad feelings, aftermath. In day to day life, it has a lot more to do. It makes your way smooth to get through. Your face no hurdle and it's easy going. Everything is perfect with smooth sailing. It enhances your status and personality. You are in position to prove your ability. You can easily draw adversity to your side as you have greater insight with angle wide. It has got soothing effect if two good words are spoken. Deadlock is finished and long silence is broken. It costs nothing extra if one uses cautious, mild words. It is leaving behind very good impression afterwards. It has got wide recognition and realized too. Some solid force is behind it and also true. It has wide impact and leaves behind goodwill. It holds its ground, making everybody to feel. It says eco balance of mind disturbed with slight bitterness. It gets inflamed with unpleasant frankness. Bold words may sometimes have undesirable effect. Person may bear ill will in mind and surely act. It is advisable not to act in haste and use words. It inflames the mind and doesn't allow us to absorb. Surely it is unproductive to feel ill treated. The behavior and response counts how it is meted. So when you really think about words, what this person is saying is that if you use kind words, you'll get a better result. You know, it doesn't have any ill will to it. It is what it is. But if you use words that are bitter and angry and incite anxiety, frustration, and whatever, that's where you get into trouble. So, good morning, Debbie. Happy Wednesday to you, too. It says, well, don't you look stunning today, girl? And I didn't pay you. I didn't. You missed the flowers. Remind me to show you the flowers at the end. I put them back over there on the table so I don't tip them over. I brought you all flowers, sunflowers, only because I love you and they're happy. Those are, to me, those are the happiest flowers out there. Oh, I like other flowers too that are purple. Any purple flowers I like. But I just especially love sunflowers. And I didn't realize that until probably about 4 or 5 years ago. I saw some and I said, those are the most beautiful flowers. When I went to New York, I saw a field of sunflowers and I loved it. Incidentally, if you're in the Pensacola area, they have the Van Gogh exhibit live. It's actually an interactive exhibit. Is here. I saw it in New York last year. Absolutely loved it. It's expensive. It's like maybe 39, 49, 39. I think it's $39 for adults. I don't know how much it is for children, but extremely good. You actually can sit in a bed that was a bed that he had painted of his room, but they have the bed as an actual bed that was pretty much modeled after the bed that he used to to sleep in. And so they have a bed and a chair. And so my daughter and I, we were acting out everything like we were hanging out with them back in the day. But you can see all of the pictures. They come on these live looking screens, and you're a part of them. So you can take pictures and everything. So really, really worth it. It says we have a field of gorgeous sunflowers down the road. I can't imagine you not looking at it. Good morning, Doc. Good morning, Doc. That's from Triple L's. Hey, Triple L's. Hey, Maurice. Oh, thank you guys for coming in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm excited. Today our word is word. And how did I come up with that? Because I'm smart. No, I'm just kidding. Because I'm happy about the fact that I try to use good words most of the time with people, and I do, I think, fairly good. Every once in a while I may cross, a line that I didn't know I was crossing, because people have words that mean different things to them. Good morning, Ardelia. How are you? Love it, love it, love it, love it that you all came in and dropped in. And says, so let's start off with the word. It says this is the word definition for word is a single distinct meaningful element of speech or writing used with others or sometimes alone to form a sentence, and typically shown with a space on either side when written or printed. So it says it could be a term, a name, an expression, a distinction, a destination, a location. It says it's also is a word or a phrase, especially with regard to a certain style or an idiom, an appellation, a name of or title. It's a vocable a word, especially with reference to form rather than meaning. It's interesting because I think a lot of the words that the younger people have come up with have actually become, they formed a meaning within a meaning. Like we may have it as one meaning, but they have an almost another meaning for the same word. Real interesting. I find that to be wander is good. So we look at words of our importance in terms of our communicating with others, and how do we use them. We use them in such a way that makes it where people get it, they understand what we're saying. And that's what most people want. They want to be understood. And sometimes words are used as a code, because the word just simplifies the fact that other things are meant by using that one word. um, I remember when we were taking some special classes as a counselor, one time they told people, if you ever get in a situation and you're forced to make a phone call or something, use a word that, if you have to communicate with your family or something, that they would understand that the word meant that they needed to do more in terms of finding out where you're at and how things are going and what is going on. So yes, I really feel that. Widespread. Yes, that's true. Wholesome, uh, warm-hearted, worth, willingness, wander. Wow, those are all great words. They're great words for a word, because those are your word or words, and my word I used for when I broke this down as wonder, which is the first word that Debbie came up with, wisdom. Come on now. When we use words, we should have some wisdom behind the word that we're using. We should be wise enough to know how to use it. So wander, and I have a wander as a feeling of surprise mingled with admiration. So when I use a word, I know why I'm using it. Like I may call somebody precious or somebody, beautiful or whatever. Those are descriptive words about how it also gives how I'm feeling about that person. Um, and it says the wander also caused by something beautiful, something unexpected. We don't know what people are going to use when they're talking to us. Do we? No, we don't. We don't. It says unfamiliar. So sometimes we heard words that we're unfamiliar with, and what do? We go try to look them up for some of us. Others, we say, hey, big word. My sister had a girlfriend, and she was not the smartest. I'm just gonna put it that way. But every time she passed a word that she didn't know, she said big word and keep on reading. And the teacher would always try, well, let's go back. Let's go back to that word. And my sister would always have us laughing. She said, and she did it again. Teacher asked her to read, and she said, and da 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 da, big word, and then kept on reading. But the teacher was trying to teach her that you can't pass over words. If you're reading it and it's part of the passage, you got to read it all. And if you don't understand it, then you ask for help or you sound it out. Some people do, some people don't. But to wander, as also says, there's fascination with it. There's fascination in words. I don't know what conversation I'll have with anybody during the course of a day, but here's what happens. I start the conversation, or they start the conversation, and then we converse. There we got communication, we got statements, we got ideas, we got plans. You see what I'm saying? So the wonderment is what we're gonna do with this. Where we're gonna go? We meet for tea. Oh, I'll call you at 10. I'll call you back. I'm busy right now, but I'm gonna call you back. Words. It says wonderment is also wonderment. Wonder is also wonderment and amazement. I'm always amazed at words. I'll be honest, always. And every once in a while, I will hear somebody say a word. I don't know that word, so I'll ask them, what's the word? Because that's from my childhood too. My mother would say, I don't know that word, go look it up. We'd find old dictionary, childhood dictionary was it was so old it was falling apart, but we would make sure those pages stayed in there because we only had maybe 6 books. I think I told you that. So out of those 6 books, we'd have to find whatever we needed to know. There is also curiosity about new words or why that usage of a word. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love, as I said, learning new words. In fact, I have on my phone, I have Word Genius, and then I have word puzzles. And incidentally, I've been reading up on, us keeping sharp as we get older. And one of the things it talks about doing is that deal with words and pictures that go together and that constantly force you to dig into memory, bring it forward so that it becomes current. And so sometimes we forget about the current stuff because we can barely remember the stuff in our past. And so they said, do all those kinds of things that forces you to use your memory. And so I do that. When I move further on in the word and I start with incidentally, are you stuck this morning on a word? Bad word? Did you call somebody bad word? Did you do something you shouldn't have done? Did you just be honest? Hurt words can leave brain marks that only kind words can sometimes erase. Absolutely, Joan. Oh, that's a wonderful statement. Y'all quote that here. Orchestrate optimistic and opportunities. That absolutely original. Come on now. Now, I've had a friend that used to make up words, and her words were always original. I said, I don't think I know that word. Let's look it up. She said, girl, I don't know how to say that. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. What it is that we learn together. Sometimes that's how we can do. But Joan, you're so true about being hurt with words. I've had clients as a counselor that somebody called them a word from when they were really young, and those words remained with them because they said they always called me X. And I never got over it. So every time I heard that word, it gave me palpitations. It took me back to where I was feeling bad about who I was. So sometimes we don't realize the power of words. A word is powerful. Okay. Objective, because that opportunity or opportunities, yes. Optimistic, all of those words. Words can hurt more than physical hurt. Absolutely, because physical hurt will heal in many instances, but a hurt that to me goes to the heart and the brain, that's something. Goes to the head and the heart. That's tough to get over. I remember people hurting me and and how do you get over it? Yeah, you can leave them in the past, that where they were a part of it, but what they said to you remains with you, because it wasn't that so much that you believed it, it's that it hurt you to the point that they even said it, that they even thought of it, and using it on you. So though that's true. Obvious is good, because sometimes words are just that, they're obvious. I used Outlook for my O. It says a person's point of view or general attitude in life. Sometimes if a person doesn't have a good outlook, you may be the person that they tell off, are angry with, gets frustrated with, curses at. You never know. You never know how things will jump off with people that have already established themselves as having a poor outlook for the day. I used to, as a teacher, I used to go in and I say, how's everyone today? Just like I do you all too. How's everyone today? And if I saw that Mary or John or Joseph, just those three, if they had bad looks on their face, I would sometimes make my way slowly while we're doing other activities and kind of disarm them. Say, hey, what's going on today? Giving them personal attention. Sometimes personal attention will knock down the wall where words will be able to come much nicer and much more kind, because you've knocked down the wall. They're probably not even angry at you. It might have been that they were angry at something that happened before all of that went down. But anyway, when I talk about outlook, it talks about one's viewpoint or their point of view. It's their angle, how they position themselves to feel that they needed to tell you something, even though it was negative. They had to get it off their chest. Angela says, words that are shaded or shielded as lies are for more scarring and forever chiseled, making them hard to dissolve or forget. Absolutely. They're embedded. They're embedded. We remember what people do to us that becomes so they're igniting. They ignite in our head every time we hear them. We can go back. We can reenact. We remember the whole situation. Even if we've forgotten all the details, we remember the word. So anyway, outlook talks about opinion, their opinion, thinking, their thinking, attitude and perspective, not yours, theirs, stance, and sometimes it may be us. Don't let me think it's not us. It could be us too. What's our stance, frame of mind, and what's our position? Have we kind of rallied up to make sure that we let everybody know we in control? We can tell you what to do, how to do, when to get it done. And we can do it in such a way that you might be intimidated. I don't want to intimidate anybody that's working with me, okay, or working for me. I don't want it to be that would be their carryaway every day. That would be their attitude about me or their understanding of who I am. That's not going to work. I want my word to be that. Remember, I said I start with love. Now sometimes people won't let you love them. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a lot of people who want you not to love them because they don't feel that they're deserving of it. I just continue in my same way. I don't change anything for them. I still, love on them the best way I can, and then understand that there's limitations, not mine, theirs. There's their limitations. So they have ready, reasonable, radiate. Oh, these are all wonderful. Reliable. That's really good too. Rational, righteousness. I think sometimes we do need to look at our righteousness to others and theirs to us. Are we right with them? Receivable. Yes. Because just because you put it out there doesn't say it was received well. They may say, oh, well, whatever. When I go on to my R, I have resilience. And resilience, that's my R. And somebody wrote obviously the rational, the receiver, the reliable. I wrote resilience, and resilience is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. How many of us can recover when somebody, even though they physically didn't sock you, but they sock you with the words that they said or the word that they said? Maybe they called you a name. You remember that, okay? So it says capacity to recover. Some of us can't recover quickly when we feel our feelings have been hurt, our heart has been hurt. We can't. We try to. So resilience is something that sometimes is difficult for us to get to because it really talks about our toughness. Some of us aren't very tough. When I was little, all you had to do is say something to me, and I was like, I cried all the time. But over the years, you realize that, okay, that's just talk. It doesn't do anything to me unless I let it. I'm not going to let it get to me unless I want it to, or I allow it to. So we also have react. So that's a good one right there, Debbie. React. Resolutions. Sometimes people try to do resolutions through talking out things, meaning words have to be used, but then you also have to use, when I used to do that mediation stuff in counseling, I would say, well, let me first have you do yours, you do them separately. And this will be the meeting space so that I can mediate how you all learn going forward how to talk to each other. But if you start off calling each other names, then you've already beat down a wall of togetherness and put up a wall of, continued frustration with each other. So those are the kinds of things I used to do. And it says the other thing is resilience also is the ability of a substance to have flexibility. How many of us are flexible? When we hear things, we don't stay with them. That would be flexible. Someone said, it is not what you call me, it is what I answer to. Absolutely. Absolutely. I've heard that. If you say I'm something and I believe it, then that might be my problem, not yours. You walked away from it. Said, and with the I told her, I told him, it's just something. So anyway, when we have this resilience, it says we look at our ability to have pliability. Do we? We look at our ability to have plasticity. Do we? To be able to have give, meaning, yeah, you said that, doesn't matter to me. Keep saying it. It says we have spring, meaning that we can come back from whatever it is that you said because you don't matter in that respect. And how I feel about myself is more important than what you might be saying. And then it talks about durability because sometimes we might get, words said from all sides. I don't know if any of you have seen the video going around of the I guess it was the dock area in Montgomery where they have like a ferry, and the ferry was due to come in and to the area to be ported a little bit, and there was a pontoon boat already there, and the man that was working was just working to just move it over a little bit so the ferry boat could get in. And oh my goodness, that was just melee, just absolute chaos, and words were being tossed. And once again, those words and the actions right with the words just had it where everybody was out of control. Debbie said something, says, when I was little one, I used to call my mother Gloria. She wouldn't respond until I called her Ma. Stewie, have y'all seen Stewie on, that, I forgot the real name of the show because I just said, I used to call it Stewie. But anyway, that show just cracks me up because he keeps calling his mother Lois. And she never answers until, well, actually, now he calls her mommy. He says, mommy, my mommy. She never answers until he says Lois. That's when she gets mad. So that was my mother. We would try to call her Lily, like the older children. And it would always, she'd never answer Lily to us. She'd answer Lily to the Family Guy. That's it. I love Family Guy. Stewie's not right. Stewie's just an intelligent. He's smarter than everybody else on the set, including all his family. Everybody. His father's crazy. All of them. His sister, everybody's just not right. But he has great words. They made him the intelligent soul of the whole show. So he comes up with great words and tells everybody how smart he is. Sometimes that is the smartness, is that you have to be able to outsmart whoever's in there hanging with you. Just, hey, look, we're not going to argue about this. This is just, here's where we are. Oh, what was it? Giggity. Oh, yeah, that guy that says giggity goo or something like that. Yes, he's crazy too. He's not right. See, Debbie watches that too. I don't know. Nobody else knows about Family Guy. The little boy's head is shaped like a football. That means that something happened on the way out. But anyway, when we have this thing called resilience when dealing with words, it says we also have formed some strength and some adaptability, in meaning that we know she always talking out her head, or he always gonna say something that's not right. So we adapt, we adjust, we get in the position where what they're saying does not make it so. Oh, and the dog. What was the dog's name? I don't know the dog's name. Tell me the dog's name. But anyway, my D in word is for durability. I believe that when you live in the life that we're living the lives that we're living, we really have to be durable, dependable. That's good. Okay. Debatable. Yeah, because sometimes we do need to debate something. Sometimes distraction. We need to be distracted against arguing with the people. We sure do. I would always go just the opposite. If I felt somebody want to argue, I say, hey, I'll see you later. I'll be back. Why give my good energy to that? I can't do it. Disciplined. Oh, those are good. Definitive. Yes. Those are all wonderful, wonderful words. Durability says is the ability to withstand wear and tear. Come on now. Who ain't going to pressure you? Who's not going to bother you? Try to damage you? Who? Somebody's coming. Impartiality. How can you just say, we just going to let it go. I'm over here, you over there. Determined. That's really good. Disbelief. There's that word again, resilience. Durability also says resilience should be a part of all of that. It says you should have some strength. When you're durable, that means your strength is that I'm not being broken by this. I will not let this break me down. I will not let this get in my head and mess me up for a month, 2 months, years. Okay, all my life. I was talking to a young man maybe about 2 weeks ago, and he was saying all of his troubles were because of his family. I said, okay, and can you do anything about that from what happened to you? He said, no ma'am. I said, so the blame no longer belongs to them because they had their time with you. You have your time with your own self now. What are you doing? What are you doing to make sure that, one, that you don't continue to carry on that victimized outlook, but the other thing is that you find things that enhance who you are for the purpose of who you want to be. That's what you do. He said, yeah, that sounds real good. I said, well, see, blaming only, casts stones for a little bit. And after a while, when you get to be, right now, you're only 30 years old, but wait till you get to be 40 and 50 and 60. Well, whatever your parents did, they did. They did by what either they knew or what they didn't know. Let's face it. Y'all don't come with, we didn't come with, my daughter didn't come with, your children, they don't come with instructions. So they did the best they could. And some people, even with the best they could, was no good. I don't condone what they did. But what I'm saying is that the blaming is over. We can always go back and say, my mom did, my dad did, and you're 50 years old. Let it go. What are you doing? What are you doing going for? That's your durability. That's your durability. And if anything, you can say, I overcame. There were some things I overcame. They happened to me. They're a part of my backdraft, my behind me stuff. But they're not my future. That isn't how I live forward. That's how I lived when I was young. So deliver is good. Detachment, discernment, the deliverable, detail. What are the details? Because sometimes I allow people to dig into where they came from. But once you dig in, dig yourself back out. You know what you needed to recover from. Okay, that becomes your durability. So no matter what words you hear later on, they're no longer trigger words. They don't continue to hurt you and frustrate you and put you in a life of constant turmoil of something you can never correct. We cannot correct what we've done. Our past is our past. Period. No matter what happened. It says trial and error comes with parenting. That's right. It absolutely does. It says no, they don't come with warranties either. They do not. Delusional. Sometimes I've had, this is the honest goodness truth. I've had young people tell me things that happened that they didn't realize that I was around when they said the so-called thing happened. And I said, it didn't happen like that. That's not true. That's not true. But they want to believe it because it gives them some resource, some foundation to stand on that they've been broken. We've all been broken. All of us we can go back and think of something that broke us for a period of time. But we don't stay there. Our brokenness is temporary. It's temporary, regardless of what anybody says. When this life is over that we all have, we can all probably say we've been broken, bamboozled, hurt, pushed, stepped on, robbed. Maybe not to the extremes. Maybe not the extreme, but we know we've been through something. We've been through something. So anyway, that is my words for the day, because it says durability is damage. It's your soundness, your robustness, your toughness, your durableness. So all of that says that we need to deal with words appropriately with each other. And when words are given to us that are not appropriate, then we would understand the wonder of it all, the outlook that we have, the resilience that we have, and then we have to call on our own durability. Listen, I love you guys. I appreciate you so much. He says, let's see, the American tabulations have tested me this past year, but hasn't broken me. Okay. All right. That's what I'm saying. We go through things, but we can't let them break us down to what they would say the white meat. Sorry, that's a joke. We don't want to let it take us apart to the point where we no longer think rightly about ourselves. But anyway, I absolutely love you guys. Absolutely love you. My saying is, this too shall pass. Absolutely. This too shall pass. I'm going to see you all on Friday. I always get so inspired, no matter what time I get in. I do my session, write up everything before I I get in bed, and then I'll fine tune it in the morning. And sometimes my fine tuning requires me to do something else. But on Friday, I'll have another word for you, and we're going to come up with it. I don't know what it is yet, but be ready. Be ready. Be ready. I thank you. Thank you. Thank you. If you don't do nothing else, hit like, share. You can say love and share. Love and share would be wonderful. I appreciate you. See you soon. Bye bye. Have a good. Be safe.